high morals. How many know that the morals of this day have been torn down? By which they are called to live. The walls protect the heart and vital organs of the city that gives it life and functionality. Let me pause to announce that although Satan has robbed you of your goods, he is really after your heart. He doesn't want your car. Lord have mercy. Every time something happens with our bills, we say the devil is a lie. He don't care whether or not your lights are on or off.
Right.
He don't care nothing about whether or not your car starts when you leave this church. That's the devil. No, it ain't. You didn't put no gas in it. When is the last time you changed your oil? That ain't the devil. Lord, I wish I didn't have this cold. I'd preach real good. He's after your peace. He's after your contentment. Some of us just can't lay down at night because we can't find contentment. The devil is after your place of peace. But I came to let you know. Come on, shake somebody by the hand. I know it's hard. Shake somebody by the hand and say, I'm not going to let anybody pull me out of my place of peace. So now let's look at this. In order for us to understand the book of Ezra, I discovered in my research that these occurrences follow Israel's 60-year exile in Babylon. Their exile began in the book of Daniel when they were taken. There is a observation that I've made, and the observation is oftentimes they are those who are the most gifted in life. Even in our secular world in music and entertainment, those who die young are not necessarily the good. Say the good die young. But I will say those that die young are the gifted. Those who cannot some way navigate themselves to a solidified relationship with Jesus Christ end up being tormented by the very gift that God has granted them with. That's why you can't be gifted without God. Tell your neighbor, say, it's dangerous to be gifted without God, because if you are gifted without God, then Satan wants the gift. Because with gifting comes influence. It ain't necessarily about your gift, it's about the influence that your gift holds. So if I can get you who have a whole lot of influence over those because of your gift, then I smite the shepherd, then I scatter the sheep. Y'all quiet in here. And so they are in exile. They are held captive for over 60 years, starting at the book of Daniel with the Hebrew boys. So even though they had some wonderful things occur in the life of these men of God, they were still in bondage. It lets me know that God will bless you in bondage. I can't hear nobody. And sometimes God won't allow you to come out of the circumstance. He just has a nifty way of blessing you inside the circumstance. Now, y'all got to work with me because I'm doing the best I can. You know, sometimes he won't get you out of the marriage, but he'll bless you in the marriage. Come on. Sometimes he won't get you out of the job, but he'll give you favor in the job. Ask Joseph. Joseph said, I was in prison. I was in a pit, but God blessed me to be over the prison because he wanted me to get a snapshot, a view of what it was going to be like when he put me over the palace. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, don't worry about where you are. Just find your favor in where you are. I can't have it. Lord, you concerned about the situation and God opening the door, but God will give give you favor. Listen, before God released Peter out of jail, when the saints were praying for him, he sent him angelic assistance while he was in jail. He unlocked him while he was in. I can walk around in a furnace and not get burned because God has conditioned me while I'm in the hottest situation. I'm not preaching to anybody. While I'm in the situation, the hottest situation of my life, it's a new place. It's unfamiliar. I don't know what's going on around me, but God will give me freedom while I'm in the midst of my circumstance, so that when it's time for me to come out, I'll have nothing holding me down and holding me back from my freedom. The narrative actually begins in the book of Ezra. I discovered in my research that these occurrences follow Israel's 60-year exile in Babylon. While they are in exile, the walls of their holy city have been torn down. The temple of Solomon has been destroyed. After 60 years in a strange land, under the leadership of Cyrus, the king of Persia, they are released to gradually return home. Now, according to Ezra chapter 3, go to Ezra chapter 3. First thing that we discover is that before of a new temple. Now, there was nobody in Jerusalem that was capable of fighting to keep the country safe. So the predators of that region came in and they began to pillage the town. Let me pause parenthetically to say this, that when you are not covered, you become vulnerable to the predators and the parasites that's been waiting all their life to rummage through the good things that God has given you. Now, don't get it twisted now. I don't care how low you think you are. There's somebody that wants what you have.
That's true.
Can't get nobody talking. Y'all quiet, boy. You can hear a rat licking ice right now. I don't care how terrible you feel like you got it. I ain't got nothing but a 2-bedroom apartment. I got this little piece of car. I want to let you know that somebody, that little piece of car looks like a limousine to them. Somebody wants what you have, and there's some demonic evil influence lusting after what you have. You keep on talking about your husband. He ain't no good. He ain't this. He ain't that. Let me tell you something. There's somebody on the precipice of your divorce saying, I need thee, there's somebody that's waiting. Your trash is somebody's treasure. I can't hear nobody talking. Somebody is waiting. Keep on complaining about what you don't have, and God will let somebody creep in and steal what you do have. They were waiting for the opportunity to burn down the gates of God's people. Why do you think that when something happens in the church world, it seems to be bigger than when it happens in the secular world? Because the world is waiting for the church to fall. Because when the church falls, the banner of righteousness that we hold up will be diminished. And now we can feel free to do whatever we want and not be, don't judge me.
Right. Come on.
Baby, I ain't judging you, I'm judging what you're doing. I can't hear nobody talking to y'all. So now, watch. The Bible says, look at what the Bible says in Ezra chapter 3, verse 10. Come on. Are you there yet? Now, I got some challenges this morning. Y'all got to work with me. Chapter 10, verse 10, chapter 3 says, and when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, they set the priests in their apparel. Now, when they get the foundation together, now the preachers are getting themselves together. Here come the musicians with the ordinance of David the king. Let's go back to learn how to really praise God. You know what? I think, I'm a person who tries to be relevant and try to keep my ear to the pulse of what's going on now. However, there comes a time where we got to go back to what used to work. Let me tell you something. When you have a challenge, some of this stuff we're hearing today is not going to help us. I can't hear nobody. That's why I thank God for the psalmists of the day like Mr. Green and Reynolds and various other people who are singing out of the heart of God, because I believe no more than we need a snazzy beat or something, a bass line or some slick words. We need something that will reach the heart of God. Lord have mercy. I don't know what you need to listen to, but when I'm going through and I need God, sometimes I have to lift my hands and say, Father, I stretch. Y'all don't know about that? My hand to thee. Y'all don't know nothing about that? Some of that stuff reaches the heart. When was the last time you sang Amazing Grace? That's the story of your deliverance. How sweet the sound. We got to go back to some of this stuff. I ain't saying we got to stay there, but every now and then we got to unpack it so that we can get our deliverance. But go get it ain't going to help you when you can't find where you're going. Come on. I can't see and you telling me to go get it. The enemy has blinded me with pain. Have you ever been in so much pain until you couldn't see your hand in front of your face? But oh, God will send the light if you learn how to worship right. You just got to learn how to come right. Look at your neighbor and say, it don't take long. You just got to learn how to come right. You got to learn what to say. You can't listen to the radio and try to find you. The only thing that God responds to is his own word. The Bible says, and he looks over his word to perform it. You want God to make a performance in your life. Start reciting his word. Start praying his word. Start singing his word. Our psalmists, what they need to do is open up the Bible and learn how to make their music. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I'm sorry. The Bible says indeed, got the foundation right. Hey, your neighbor said we got to get the foundation right. If we're going to build effective ministry, we got to have a sure foundation.
That's right. Amen.
And we just can't build ministry on no shade, nice flyers and Facebook posts.
That's right.
Clips. We got to have some real stuff. God help me in here. We got to have. Listen, if you want a real foundation, because let me tell you something. The devil is coming. Just as sure as my name is Braxton D. Bowser Sr., the devil is coming after whatever it is that you have in your life. Look at you and say, show live, show live. But in order for you to stand the test of time, you have to have a sure foundation. Tell your neighbor, say you got to have a good foundation. You got to have something that will hold you when the winds of life blow in your direction. God. Anybody ever had a hurricane in your life? A tornado, an earthquake, something to shake your foundation? If you don't know God and know him for real, you'll go back to what God has brought you out of. How many know that I've got a testimony that he brought me out of darkness and transplanted me into the marvelous light? And I made up in my mind that I ain't going back. Too far, I have come too far. Trouble comes my way, you may hear me say I've come too far to turn around. Come on, grab somebody by the hand. I'm getting ready to close this. I can't finish this. Shake somebody by the hand and say, my heart is fixed and my mind is made up. God, I got a testimony. I ain't going back to being a crackhead. I'm not going back on the whole stroll. Come on, talk to me. I'm not going back to where God has delivered me from. I'm going to fix my foundation. I'm getting in my word. I'm going to Bible study. I'm going to learn how to pray because the devil is going through here like a roaring lion and he's trying to devour somebody. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm coming out of this. I dare you to pull on somebody and say, neighbor, I'm coming out of this. Come on, pull on somebody else and say, I'm coming out of this. And I ain't going back no more. First thing we need in order to have reconstruction, we got to have restored worship.
That's good. That's good.
See, God is blessing y'all. Y'all.
Come on.
God is blessing y'all, and God is making ways, and you're living in places and experiencing things that you never experienced before. But it seems like the closer you get to your blessed place, the further you get from God. Don't you dare get a degree, college students and high school graduates. Don't you dare get a degree and get a good job and get opportunities that your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother never had. Get opportunities that your granddaddy never had. Your great-granddaddy was fresh out of slavery. How dare you look at that situation and pull away from God and somehow feel that it was you in your own strength and you'll stick to it in this and your own power that got you through that, baby. You didn't do it while you were walking. God was walking around you. Because the Bible says he encamped around them that fear him and delivered him. I wish you would look at your neighbor and say, it was God, baby. I couldn't do it for myself. I couldn't make a way on my own. I couldn't provide for it. I'm going to teach you a word. I'm going to teach you a word, a phrase that we used to say in the country. You can have it. I'll give it to you. But I dare you to shake somebody's hand like you won $25 million on the Powerball and say, nobody but the Lord. See, I grew up in a place where they didn't praise God like y'all. Hallelujah. Big Mama would get out, you know Big Mama with a big bosom. She would get out in the middle of the floor and say, nobody but Jesus. She'd say that about the fourth time the whole church would be taught, nobody but the Lord. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you didn't get here on your own. Nobody but the Lord. You think you got here on your own? No, you didn't. Nobody. You got a nerve to come in here looking like a bump on the pickle. You didn't do it on your own. I don't care what you went through in the last 6 months. You could have died in that mess. We had a whole lot of RIP on Facebook in the last 6 months, and your face won't on a picture. You ought to lift your hands and get it. up on me. We're going to rebuild the walls. Y'all come back next time. We're going to get these walls up before we leave here. But before you even mess with the walls, you got to deal with your worship. But listen, that's why I don't care. Some folks say, but Pastor, if you want the kind of church that's overflowing and dealing with whosoever will is doing over that, and life changes is doing over here, and this over. If you want to have that, then you got to make it a little more comfortable for people, because people get a little nervous when they get to running and shouting and jumping. But I tell people, you know what? If I got to keep a good 50, 60, 75, 100 people, 150 people, I'll be all right as long as I got some folk that know how to get in touch with God. Because some folk want to make a church, but all they have is a mega mess. And I want a whole lot of folk in my building, but I want to tell you something. I need some folk that when I'm going through and the doctor say ain't nothing else we can do, somebody can get on their knees and come on here. Let me show you where to get you. Let me show you. First component you need is restored worship. If you don't learn nothing else from Agape, you're going to learn how to worship. You're going to learn how to praise God. Lord have mercy. You're going to learn how to get in His presence. That's why I don't let people intimidate me and rush me. If I got a song to sing, I'm going to sing all the verses until I feel the Holy Ghost. Tell your neighbor, say, you keep letting folk cut your song short. Come on. Say, keep letting folk cut your song short, and you know you need God. And let me just take a census. How many folk in here really need God to do something in the next week? I need Him. Somebody needs some tuition to be paid. Lord have mercy. Somebody need a bill to be paid. Somebody needs to move out of their place. Somebody needs something done. I'm charged with popular self-help of our rebuilding project. To build the way in our